Hello, hello, dear StarCraft fans. This is Blade of Ire bringing you another StarCraft English commentary. And as usual, I'm bringing you the day's group from the MSL Survivor. And we have already made Group K. This is the 11th group of 12. Tomorrow is the grand finale with Savior in the group. But first, let's concentrate on this one. Play today. We had July, Han or Teresa, as John747 wrote in his description, Frozean and Good Friend in this group. And I start off with the winners match between July and Frozean. What happened in the first two sets, I'm just going to recap really quick after giving you the starting positions. So we have Frozean as Terran, as Purple Terran, at the 12 o'clock position here on Zodiac. And at the 9 o'clock position we have his opponent July as the Purple Zerg. So a little bit about what happened in the first two games, the first two sets. July versus Han or Teresa on Loki 2, even though Han is a Protoss player and would as such rather be favored by Loki 2. July is simply too good for that, you know, and Han did go for Reavers, for Templar, but he didn't really harass, which gave July the necessary respite to build up a big force of Hydras and go for a very well-planned drop in the expansion of Han at the 4 o'clock position, and ravaging simply through his base, through his main, doing so much damage, and Han simply did not have the army, did not have the force to respond to that, and a last big Hydra attack through the front of his other expo simply eradicated him. And the other match, Frozean versus Good Friend, that was actually quite a another story, quite as a big surprise, because if I'm looking right here at Pandemic's predictions, which you should definitely check out on se2gg.com, Frozean actually was 5'10" in TVTs, and whereas Good Friend won about more than 50% of these matchups in his career. And so you did have to give Good Friend the advantage on the map. However, Frozean went again for a very gutsy build, very rushy build with barracks build at his opponent's expansion. Pumped those Marines out, finally managed to get a bunker down and to contain him, and this contain was eventually what broke Good Friend, because this was a really well made contain. This you have to give to Frozean. He brought in the siege tanks, there was no way out, and he built kind of a semicircle of turrets all over the place to prevent any drops in his main or any expos being built, and so simply he wore Good Friend down. And it was clear at a point when, you know, Frozean had 3 expos up and running very well and Good Friend only 2, that it was pretty much over. And so in the meantime we have the first scouting SCV in this match from Frozean. He's building his command center and he has scouted his opponent, seen that hatchery put down at the expansion, and the spawning pool goes up only now, so this is what gives him the confidence to put that command center down. This very important scouting information, and the third hatchery is within the main, so not overexpanding or anything. The first that Marine will push back the Overlord that came in to spy on Frozean, and yeah, he's bumping from that barracks. However, this match you again have to favor July, because this is not a map that is really biased Zodiac. It's actually quite a nice map for that case. And in the meantime, also taking the extractor, and he also feels that he needs a bunker still, because these Zerglings are inbound. However, they will not be able to do much, or will they? Oh no! That was also good play by bringing that SCV with the 2 Marines on the on the ramp, so as to prevent any scouting information or any damage within his own main. So well played until now by Frozean. However, July is such a good player, it's really hard to not give him the advantage. bringing in the SCVs to the expansion, also putting down that academy in the expectation of a medic and marine group to come quite soon. Now with the two hatcheries there and the morphing one for the south, quite in a lot of matches, players chose to not, Zerg players chose to not put their important tech buildings only within their main, but also in this expansion as well. Although I guess this expansion is not so easily defendable, though you usually do see some Sunkens going down at that very expansion for defense purposes. So now taking the gas there on this side as well, and yeah, he'll have that that lair morphed in a sec now, and now building a supply depot, so trying to somehow wall off the entrance to his expansion to give that bunker extra efficiency, and in the meantime the spire. So it seems to be going for a kind of a standard ZVT with the SK Team 1 Terran play on the one side with the medic and marines, with the tanks supporting against lurkers, and the science vessels providing the information to see them. And on the other hand, the Zerg with the Muta harass, Zerglings, and perhaps later on we can see something like Ultras and of course the Mighty Defilers, and of course the Scourges to take down those science vessels. And now coming with the first group of medics and marines, and also a fire bat, and a couple of seconds will be in order at that expansion. This is clear, because otherwise there's no way he can hold this off. Putting another hatchery in the meantime, and actually these Zerglings do manage to kill a couple of units, but I think this was only a way to keep this medic and marine group away until these 3 seconds were all finished, so as to make sure that they will have no chance to get through. And a lot of eggs hatching. All of these are probably mutas at this point in time, and as this match advances, I would personally give the advantage to July, simply because he's simply the better player, much more experience, and he's proven it in so many more games. Then again, this is StarCraft, and this is the really cool thing in StarCraft, that good players could lose to anyone, anytime. And these Zerglings actually managed to go past this group, and he might find himself in a little bit of trouble. I'm not sure how much he has in his own main, and these Zerglings might actually manage to get within his main, because they're running really quickly. He's put 2 Marines inside, but as I was expecting, they were not capable of stopping this, and the Zerglings are inside. They might kill a couple of SCVs here. They're killing the SCV, building the factory right now. And wise move, he's going for the missile turrets so as to enable a better Muta harass pretty soon. Now caught in the in that corner, and now trying to kill these Marines. Almost managed to kill all those Marines, but the turret is quickly reinstalled. So not really did much with that Zergling attack. Then again, Zerglings are pretty cheap, so I guess you can afford that kind of stuff. The Mutas, on the other hand, are a much different story. They're a lot more important. Another creep colony in case more medics and marines will come in, and also the Hydralisk den. So heading for that normal game with those lurkers to come in